Hello, dear students. This is Asha Golsangimat, lecturer at Sanjeevani Pharmacy College, Vijaypur. Today we are going to discuss about routes of drug administration. That is, how the drugs will be administered to the body. So, first we will see the classifications of the routes of drug administration. There are several ways to administer the drugs. That is, we can take by oral route, that is, for example, tablets, capsules and syrups we will take by oral, and some of will take by injections, and some of will use to the skin by applying the skin. So in those ways this is classified into systemic and local, systemic administration as well as local administration. In the systemic administration, there are further two types are there, that is enteral and parenteral. In the enteral, there are further three types are there, that is oral, sublingual and rectal. And next, in the parenteral, that is inhalations and injections will come and transdermals will come. In the injections there are several routes are there, that is IV, that is intravenous, intramuscular, subcutaneous, intraatrial, intraarticular, intraethical and intradermal. And in the local, there are several parts are there, that is skin, that is topical administration, and intranasal ocular drops, that is eye drops, and mucosal, throat, vagina, mouth, ear, ear drops will come, and inhalations will come, and lastly the transdermals. This is a classification of the routes of drug administration. We will study in this chapter in detail about these classifications, that is routes of drug administration. Next, enteral route we have seen. What is this enteral route? Enteral means the drugs which will directly goes into the GI tract, that is gastrointestinal tract. So when we take the drugs by mouth or oral, the drugs will goes directly to the GI tract, then only its action will starts. So in the enteral there are further three types are there, as I already told that, that is oral, buccal or sublingual and rectal. So this is enteral route. Next, here the oral route. Oral route means what? The drugs which we take by mouth, that is we take it by the tongue. Okay, we take the tablet and will take some water or will take with the liquid, that is oral route. Whatever the tablets, capsules, syrups, emulsions, suspensions, whatever we will take, those all comes under the oral route of administration. There are two methods are there, that is applying topically to the mouth or swallowing for the absorption along the GI tract, that is gastrointestinal tract into the systemic circulation. And one thing is there here, how we identify in the prescription, this is taken by oral route. So the doctors or the prescriber will use the abbreviation, that is PO. PO means per OS. It is a Latin word which means that it should take the by the oral route. Next, we'll see the advantages of this. That is, first point is the most commonly preferred and used route of drug administration. This is very easy to take, or it is a very convenient to the patient for the self administration, and it is pain free, right? And it does not require the any special skills, so we can take, as it is a easy way because in the injections we'll see there will be chances of pain. If we should not give in the correct way, there may be causes of the infections. So it should not require any special skills for the administration. The patient can take itself himself. Then absorption takes place along with the whole length of the GI tract. So the when we take the drugs, it will start from the mouth, it will start the absorption ADME processes. It involves the ADME processes, that is absorption, distribution, metabolism and excretion. Okay, then it is cheap as compared to the parenteral routes. The injections will get 50 100 rupees per injection, but the tablets are available. Some of the tablets are available even in paisas. Okay, 1 rupee, 2 rupee, we can get the tablets, but the other products we can't take. That is some of the injections, those all are very costlier. Up to 3000, 1 lakh, the injections are available. So this is one of the advantage of the oral route drugs as compared to the other routes. Next, the disadvantages. Disadvantages are that it cannot be used in case of unconscious and incooperative patient. Okay, so what happens in this? This is very easy to take himself to the patient, but we can't administer this drug to the unconscious patient who are not stable or who are not cooperate to the taking the medicines. For those patients we can't administer the by the oral route. We have to administer or we have to use the parenteral routes of administration. And some inefficient, sometimes inefficient, it is inefficient, only the part of the drugs may be absorbed, sometimes it will happen. This is second point. And then the first pass effect which is occur in the liver. The drugs whatever goes in the body, they first goes to the liver. This first pass effect will occur in the liver. The drugs absorbed orally are initially transported to the liver via the portal vein. Okay, so after that through the liver, then they will transport it to the body parts. Then some of the drugs will make the irritation to the gastric mucosa, or it may causes nausea, vomiting. Some of the patients may effect by the drugs. Its side effects will maybe nausea, vomiting or any other effects. And certain drugs like insulin undergo the degradation in the GI tract. To avoid this degradation by digestive juices, it cannot be given by the oral route. Okay, then onset of action, it will take, for the reaction it will take 3 to 4 hours because it involves the ADMA processes. Okay, when we take the drugs, it should uh, we should it should involve in the ADMA processes. Okay, so it will take 3 to 4 hours or sometimes more than that. So it is a slow process and it should not be used in the emergency cases. And some of the unpleasant taste of some drugs may be inconvenient to the patients to take the drugs. This is about disadvantages of the drugs. And next, some common dose forms for the oral administration. Okay, what are they? I already told that the drugs which we are using are, that is, first one tablet, capsules, liquids, solutions, suspensions, syrups, elixirs. These all forms of doses can be administered by the oral route. And next, the second one is buccal or sublingual route. You can see in this image the buccal route or sublingual route. I have given the images. The drugs are taken as a smaller tablets which are held in the mouth. So the drugs or the tablets are held in the mouth, that is in the buccal cavity, those are called as buccal. Okay, buccal root. And some of the drugs are taken under the tongue, they put under the tongue for the absorption, so that is called as sublingual route. In this image you can see this is a buccal root. Okay, so when we take just applied or when we put the drug in the buccal cavity, after 1 hour it will be slowly absorbing, after 5 hours it is absorbing little bit, and after 10 hours still it is releasing the drug. By this image you can easily understand the buccal route administration. Okay, so next one is advantages of this buccal and sublingual, both are same. So having the drug stability, and these are economical, and we can administer quickly, and first part effect is avoided because they start absorption from the mouth only. Okay, then the drug absorption is quick. And disadvantages are it is inconvenient to the patient because it will take more time, and it is applied in the mouth or buccal cavity, and unpalatable or bitter taste of the drugs may result in the poor patient compliances, and irritation of the oral mucosa, there may be chances of irritation to the oral mucosa, and large quantities cannot be given, may leads to the toxicity. And then few drugs only absorbed, few of the drugs can be administered by this route. And then the rectal route means this is a route of administration is useful in case of the unconscious patients. Okay, if the patient is unconscious at that time, we can administer by this rectal route. You can see the image. In case of the unconscious patients and some of the children's, we can use this method. And if the patient is nauseous and vomiting to the oral route, we can use this administration, this route. There is easy to terminate, that is effect is easy, exposure at any time and whenever it is necessary. And this route is good for the drugs which are affect the bowel, that is such as laxatives, while the drugs which are irritating to the contraindicated by irritating are contraindicated by this route. This is about rectal route. And next, the parenteral route. Parenteral route means the injections, that is the parenteral administration is the route where the drugs in the form of solution or the suspension is injected in the body with the help of hollow needle and syringe or injection, or in some cases in the vapor or fine droplets. Drugs are inhaled in the respiratory tract. So inhalations also comes under this, and injections will come. Okay, the term parenteral comes from the Greek word, that is para means outside and entron means intestine, outside the intestine. We have to administer these parenteral routes. This route of administration bypasses the alimentary canal. And next, in the injectables, there are several routes are there, as I already told. That is, first one is intravenous, okay, and then intramuscular, subcutaneous, intra-arterial, intra-articular, intraethical, intradermal, and one more thing very important, that is inhalations, which are absorbed through the lungs. Okay, then you can see in this image, that is here, The first one, that is this part, this is a intramuscular. Okay, that is we have to put the injection at the angle of 90 degree, which reaches to the muscle. Okay, so this is muscle, intramuscular. When we want to give the drugs to the muscle, then at that time we have to give the injection at 90 degree. After that, subcutaneous tissue, that is 45 degree. This is okay, 45 degree is there, subcutaneous. Here this part you can see this injection arrow mark. So through 45 degree the drug should be administered for the subcutaneous tissue. When we want to give the drug or injection to the subcutaneous tissue, at that time you have to give the injection at the angle of 45 degrees Celsius. And after this, intravenous, which is given to the veins. Okay, at that time you should give the drugs at 25 degrees Celsius, which is in the subcutaneous tissue. The veins are present in the subcutaneous tissue, so if you want to give the drug to the veins, you have to give at the angle of 25 degrees Celsius. After that, intradermal. Intradermal, if you want to give the epidermis layer, or after the subcutaneous the dermis layer is there and upper part is epidermis. So if you want to give the epidermis layer, at that time you have to give only 10 to 15 degree angle, that is which reaches to the epidermal layer of the skin. This is about all types of routes of parenteral routes of administration. And next, intravenous. The drugs which are directly injected to the veins. Okay, as I already told that. And the advantages are, you can see this image, the salines are applied to the veins, right? They will inject to the veins of the hand, right? So advantages are bioavailability is 100% here, that is it will give the rapid action, so it can be used in the emergency cases. Okay, so it can be used in the emergency cases. And gastric manipulation will be avoided because it directly goes into the veins. Next, vomiting and diarrhea. It will, if the patient is nauseous or vomiting to the oral route, at that time we can give this route. And irritating eye hypertonic solutions can be administered by this route, which are irritating to the stomach or hypertonic solutions. At that time this route is best one. And large quantity can be administered. You can see the salines, so 500 ml, 1000 ml, up to 1000 ml we can administer that drug. Okay, then desired blood concentration will be achieved by this route. And next, the disadvantages are, it may cause irritation to the skin, or the speed of the drug entering into the veins should be controlled. It is very important. That is, the speed of the drug administering to the body, that is very important. Okay, if the speed of the drug increases, at that time there may be chances of irritation or other reactions may cause. So it is very important. And repeated injections are not feasible. That is, if we take the repeated injections or administration, after that there may be chances of the infection to the body. And then it is very less safe, and technical assistance is required. That is very important. As compared to the oral route, it is difficult to take by self. The oral route, the patient can take it himself, but here the other person is required for the administration of the drug. And danger of infection, and it is expensive. right, as compared to the oral route, and less convenient and painful. When give the injections, it is very painful, you all know that, and it is less convenient to the patient for the administration of the drug. Next, intramuscular, the drugs which are injected into the muscle, that is at the 90 degree. Okay, so the drugs are administered at the muscle tissue. Advantages are absorption reasonably uniform and rapid onset of action is there. Mild irritants can be given by this route, and suspensions and colloidal drugs can be given by this route, and the gastric factors can be avoided. And the disadvantages are only up to 10 ml of the drugs can be given. This is the disadvantages of the intramuscular drugs. That is, the larger quantity of the drugs cannot be administered by this route. Almost all parenteral drugs, parenteral route of administration, whatever the types are will come, no, those all advantages and disadvantages are almost all same. Some of the points will changes here. So only up to 10 ml drugs can be given by muscular, and local pain and obese may occur, and it is expensive, may cause infection, and it may be a possibility of the nerve damage and slow absorption of the some of the drugs. These are disadvantages of the intramuscular route. Next, subcutaneous. Subcutaneous, which is given by the at the 45 degrees Celsius, which is given to the arms. Okay, injected under the skin. Absorption is slow, so action is prolonged, and only non-irritant drugs can be administered by this route. And some of the implants can be administered. That is a tablet. Implant means what? It is a tablet or the porous capsule which is inserted into the loose tissues by the incision of the skin, which is then stitched up. That is the tablet or the capsule is kept into the loose tissue and it is stitched for the absorption. For example, certain hormonal drugs can be administered by this route. Next, intra-articular. These are administered directly into the joints, that is knee joint. For knee joint, that is the drugs or injection which is given, that is called as intra-articular. Injections of the antibiotics and corticosteroids are administered in the inflamed joints cavities by the experts. There is a requirement of the experts. Example, hydrocortisone in the rheumatoid arthritis. In the rheumatoid arthritis, hydrocortisone injection is given for this treatment of the rheumatoid arthritis. And the next one is intra-articular. The drug is administered directly into the artery. Okay, the intra-arterial means the drugs are directly administered to the artery. Rarely used, it is very rarely used route, and some of the anti-cancer drugs are given for the localized effect. The drugs used for the diagnosis of the peripheral vascular diseases can be used by this route. And next, intradermal. The drug is injected to the skin layers, that is dermis layer. Okay, epidermis layer of the skin. Small quantity should be given. The drug which is given through the intradermal, the quantity is very small and it is painful and mainly used for the testing sensitivity to the drug. If the patient is having the sensitive to the some of the drugs, at that time the test should be given by this intradermal route. For example, penicillin ATCs, that is anti-tetanus serum, or inoculation, that is administration of the vaccines like smallpox vaccine, then BCG vaccines, those all will given by this. Those tests will be done by this intradermal route. And inhalations, you all know that, you can see this image, you can easily understand this inhalations. The drugs are administered either by aerosol system or in the form of vapors. In the children's, for the cough and to relieve the cough, the vapors are given, those are called as inhalations. The certain drugs are sprayed in the form of droplets to give the local effect. Adrenaline spray is administered in the bronchial asthma. For the asthma, adrenaline is sprayed. Next, the advantages are absorption of the drug is rapid and easy, resulting in the rapid local and systemic effect of the drug, because it will directly goes to the lungs, and easy to administration. And disadvantages are drugs directly enter into the left side of the heart, it will goes to the lungs, so at the center of the lungs there is presence of heart, so it will directly, this drug when we administer the inhalations, it will directly goes to the left side, so the left side of the lungs there is the presence of heart, so there may be danger to the cardiac toxicity, there may be chances of the heart related problems. And certain drugs producing local irritations may increase the respiratory tract secretions. So these are the disadvantages of this route. Next, topical route of administration. This is the last route, that is topical administration or topical application, that is application to the skin. It includes the administration of the drugs to the mucous membrane, that is there may be eye, nose, vagina, ears, urethra, colon, lungs, any application, any parts of the body. Application of the drugs to the any parts of the body is called as topical route of administration. Advantages and disadvantages are the local therapeutic effect will occur and not well absorbed into the deeper layers of the skin, that is mucous membrane, because it is only administered or applied to the skin, so it will not absorb through the deeper layers of the skin, only it is used for the upper layer of the skin, epidermis layer. Then lower risk of the side effects, there may be side effects are less for this. And transdermal route offers the steady levels of the drugs in the system, and the sprays for the inhalation through the nose may be for the local and systemic effect. This is advantages and disadvantages of topical route. And the topical dosage forms which are available in the market, that is for the skin, you can see here, for the skin creams are available, ointments are available, lotions are available, gels, transdermal patches, discs, these all will be applied to the skin. And for the ear and eye, solution, suspension, ointments are available. And for the nose and lungs, sprays and powders are used. Transdermal absorption of the drug through the skin is stable the blood level, that is it will make the blood levels stable, and no first pass effect metabolism or first pass metabolism will occur, because it will not go inside the body, it is applied outside the body, so it will not involve in the first pass effect. And the drug must be potent or patch becomes too large. Okay, then here you can see in this slide the time, the route of administration, time until the effect, which route of administration will take how much time, that we can see here, which one is the fastest route of administration. So that is, first here you can see This first one is intravenous. Intravenous, it will take time for 30 to 60 seconds. After that it will start its effect. But intraosseous means which is the drugs are given to the bones. Then intra endotracheal, the drugs which are given to the tracheal cavity, it will take 2 to 3 minutes, and inhalations will take 2 to 3 minutes, and sublingual will take 3 to 5 minutes, and intramuscular drugs will take 10 to 20 minutes for the effect. Subcutaneous 15 to 30 minutes after administration, and rectal 5 to 30 minutes after administration. Ingestion, that is through the oral route, it will take 30 to 90 minutes, and transdermal or topical, it is variable, it may take the minutes or it may take hours for the effects after the administration of the drug. Then selection of the route of the administration is determined by how we select the route. It is involved that the physical characteristics of the drug, whether it is solid, liquid or semi solid, we can take. Then the speed which the drug is absorbed or released, that is speed of the drug. And the need to bypass hepatic metabolism and to achieve the high concentration at the particular site, and accuracy of the dosage, condition of the patient. By these all points we can select the route for the administration of the drug. This is all about the routes of drug administration and their advantages and disadvantages. Classification we have seen. If you have any queries, you can comment here. Thank you.